everyone, I am Marceline Nahario Llagas. The topic we will discuss is about Russian's theory on second language acquisition. The reporters Llagas Regine and Gregorio Chiara. About 25 years ago, a psychologist named Stephen Krashen transformed language teaching. He had been developing his ideas over a number of years, but several books he published in the 1980s received widespread acceptance. Ang sabi po dito, Stephen Krashen is an American linguist, educational researcher, and professor. His groundbreaking work in second language acquisition (SLA) revolutionized language teaching from the 1980s onward. He criticized traditional grammar-heavy instruction and promoted natural, meaningful communication as the foundation for learning language effectively. Dito naman po tayo sa much has been made of Krashen's theory of second language acquisition, which consists 5 main hypotheses. And Stephen Krashen developed 5 key ideas to explain how people best learn a second language. These are known as hypotheses, and they have greatly influenced modern teaching. Number 1 po, we have the acquisition learning hypothesis. The number 2, the monitor hypothesis. The number 3 is the natural order hypothesis. The number 4, the input hypothesis. And the last one is the affective filter hypothesis. So let's come now to the acquisition learning. The acquisition of learning. Yan po. Acquisition. 2 different ways of developing skills in second language. We have acquisition and learning. Ano nga po ba ang acquisition? Ang acquisition is a subconscious process where individual is not aware, one is unaware of the process as it is happening and when the new knowledge is acquired. The acquirer generally does not realize that he or she possesses any new knowledge. According to Krashen, both adults and children can subconsciously acquire language, and either written or oral language can be acquired. This process is similar to the process that children undergo when learning their native language. Ang sabi po dito, natututo ang mga bata yun na hindi nyo namamalayan. Di ba po, pag naranasan po natin na hindi naman po natin inaaral, pero kunyari po, lingwahe, pero namamalayan na lang po natin na natututo na po tayo. At ang sabi po dito, walang memorasyon o grammar rules. Sa halip, natututo ang isang tao dahil palagi nito nakikinig o nakikiusap o nababasa sa bagong wika. Ayon kay Krashen, pwedeng maganap ang acquisition sa mga bata o matanda at pwede rin itong mangyari gamit po ang salita na oral o nakasulat written na wika. Next po, katulad ito ang paraan kung paano matututo ang mga bata ng kanilang unang wika hindi mula sa textbook kundi sa karanasan. Ang acquisition requires meaningful interaction in the target language, during which the acquirer is focused, Sonia Albertazzi, on meaning rather than form. Bakit nga po ba mahalaga ang acquisition? Isa na rito ang tunay na kahusayan sa pagsasalita. Nakakatulong ito sa pagkakaroon ng kumpiyansa at matibay na pundasyon ng kaalaman. Isa na po sa example po ay ang isang bata ay palaging nunood ng English cartoons. pagkatapos ng ilang linggo, ginagamit na niya ang mga katagang let's go and I don't want it, kahit walang nagturo sa kanya. Ang isang bata ay natututong magsabi ng gutom na ako dahil palagi niya itong naririnig sa pamilya. This shows natural exposure. The child isn't studying the sentence, they understand its meaning through repetition and context. This is how real fluent begins, by understanding and using language in everyday situations. Next po, we have learning. Learning a language, on the other hand, is conscious process, much like what we experience in school. New knowledge or the language forms are represented consciously in the learner's mind, frequently in the form of language rules and grammar. And the process often involves error correction. Language learning involves formal instruction, and according to Krashen, is less effective than acquisition. Ayon po sa learning, ang sabi po dito is learning language is a conscious process. You are aware that you are trying to learn. This often happens in a classroom or formal setting like in school. Pinag-aaralan po dito ang grammar rules. Ayon kay Krashen, mahalaga rin ang learning para sa maintindihan ang ekstruktura ng wika. Pero mas epektibo pa rin ang acquisition pagdating sa tunay na pakikipag-usap. And dito naman po tayo sa acquisition learning hypothesis. We have acquisition. This means that the person is not fully aware that they are learning a language. Sa acquisition po, we have subconscious process. Ang subconscious process po ay sabi po dito, hindi mo naiisip ang grammar, kusa na lang sumisiksik sa isipan ang wika habang ginagamit mo ito. We have an example of subconscious process. Di ba po lagi tayong nakikinig sa English songs o nanonood ng English movies, pero isang araw, nagulat na lang po tayo na halos lahat ng sinasabi sa isang pelikula o music ay kahit hindi natin sila aralin, ay natututunan na lang natin na memorize na lang natin yung mga sinasabi dun sa movies and music. Number 2 po, we have identical to L1 acquisition. Ito naman po, just like how children learn their first language, L1, when a baby learns to speak, they are not studying grammar or vocabulary list. They learn by listening, repeating, and interacting with people around them. Isa na rin po sa example ng identical to L1 acquisition, a 4-year-old learns how to say I want juice in English because her parents and siblings always use it at home. Di ba po pag ang bata palaging naririnig yung mga sinasabi sa pamilya o sa kapatid, natututunan na rin nila dahil naririnig ng bata ang kanilang mga sinasabi. And she just heard it often and repeated it. She learned the language in the same way she learned her first language, by hearing and repeating naturally. And we have the last one, by acquisition, emphasis given to meaning. This naman po is focus on meaning, not on grammar or structure. Example, a student says she go to the market yesterday, and the listener understand what they meant even if the grammar is not perfect. Ang ano po dito, kahit po mali ang grammar, naiintindihan pa rin ang ibig sabihin. Ito naman po tayo sa learning. We have conscious process, knowing about knowledge, emphasis given to a rule. And what does tell us acquisition is a process that happens largely subconsciously. It's similar to how children learn first language and they are immersed in the language environment. They hear people talking around them, they hear people might watch movies or listening listen to the radio in that language. And without consciously trying to memorize grammar, rules, or vocabulary lists, they gradually pick up the language. And think about the child growing up here in a Tagalog speaking household here in Iriga City. They aren't actively studying verb conjugations or noun cases. Instead, through constant exposure and interaction, they naturally develop the ability to understand and speak Tagalog. The arrow points to a diamond shape that says picking up words. The highlight is a key characteristic of acquisition. It's about absorbing the language bit by bit. Finally, this process leads to the big blue box labeled SLA, which stands for Second Language Acquisition. That signifies that through this subconscious process of immersion and exposure, we can indeed acquire a second language. Now, let's move on to learning. Look at the bottom pink box labeled learning. The arrow from the points to a box that says conscious by instruction, grammar, rules, and correct errors. And this pathways learning is more conscious process. It is typically involves formal instruction. Like what you might experience in the language class. Here you actively study grammar, rules, memorize vocabulary list, and you are often corrected when you make errors. The arrow leads to a diamond shape that says knowing about grammar rules. This emphasizes the learning a language often involves understanding the structure and rules of that language in a more implicit way. And this process also contributes to SLA, but it's a different route than acquisition. So what's the key difference? The fundamental difference lies in the level of our awareness. Acquisition is like picking up a language without really thinking about it. We have monitor hypothesis. Monitor hypothesis explain the relationship between acquisition and learning. The monitoring function is the practical result of the learned grammar. According to Krashen, for the monitor to be successfully used, three conditions must be met. And the monitor hypothesis is one of Stephen Krashen's theories about how people learn a second language. It explains the relationship between acquisition, naturally picking up, and language and learning. Consciously learning grammar's rule. And ayon po kay Krashen, ang monitor ay parang panloob na tagasuri na ginagamit ito sa iyong natutunang grammar para itama o baguhin ang sasabihin o isusulat mo. And having time to use the monitor, the speaker is then focused on form rather than meaning, resulting in the production and exchange of less information. Due to these difficulties, Krashen recommends using the monitor at times when it does not interfere with communication, such as while writing. Ang sabi po dito, kapag ginagamit ng isang tao ang monitor, mas nagkakaroon ng tamang grammar kaysa sa tamang kahulugan. Ang sinasabi, because of this, the person might slow down and share less information. Ibinungkahi ni Krashen na gamitin lang ito sa mga pagkakataon na hindi ito nakakasagabal sa komunikasyon tulad ng pagsusulat. And let's come now to the three types of monitor users. The first one, we have high monitors. Are usually monitoring their own output. As a result, such as performers may speak hesitantly, often self-correct in the middle of utterance, so they cannot speak with any real fluent. Thank you everyone for this wonderful discussion. I hope may natutunan po kayo. Sana po nakinig po kayo ng maigi sa pinag-discuss ko po. And may tatlo pa pong hypothesis na kailangan i-discuss. Si Miss Shara Gregorio na po yun.